Brian Dulesky with Able Distributors. Today, we're doing an unboxing on the NTI TRX. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey, we've done this already. There's another video out. And you're right, but you're wrong also. This is the TRX Series 2. So everything we know and love from selling this thing for years stayed the same. But a couple things have changed. So we're going to start all over. We're going to do it all over from the get-go. So some of the things you need to know. On the top of the boiler, intake, exhaust is in the middle. You got to knock out one of these sides. They're solid, so you can choose which side you're going to bring the intake on. Now, I know for a fact that you can put PVC in here and tighten it down without it being knocked out. It'll only run when the door is off. You want to choose which side and make sure you knock it out. And then there's a little screw here that you can remove to have a port for your combustion analyst to go in there. Another thing that changed in the TRX Series 2 is now it's got hatches with claps. Instead of constantly putting the screws back in, I like that a lot. On the bottom, if I can spin this thing around, on the bottom we do have screws that you'll take out after you install it, and they're just there for shipping. Once you're done and it's installed, I would never put those back, just rely on the clips. On the bottom, you've got boiler in, boiler out. It's got a built-in pump. You got your power cord. You've got your trap. You've got two other ports here. One is going to be used, since this is a TRX 120, not a combi, one is going to be used for an indirect tank. If it was a combi, you'd use both and go through just like a flat plate heat exchanger, so it would act as a tankless water heater. So what I've got here is the box of goodies that comes with it. Where is that box of goodies? That was the number one question I got when these first came out. If you roll this unit onto its side carefully, that box slides in the back. It keeps the shipping container as small as humanly possible, but you'd be shocked at how many people didn't think about looking in the back for that box. So let's get into what's inside the box and what you get so you can plan your job. Obviously, a complete instruction manual, install manual, owner's manual, operation manual, it's all there. You get a drain tube that attaches to your trap, and this is small enough that you could slide it in 3/4 PVC to kind of make the job look nice and neat. Inside the goodie box, we've got a lot of stuff going on in here. Now, CPVC, why do we give this to you? Because CPVC handles more heat than PVC. And we know the hottest part of this whole vent is right off the heat exchanger. So we give you this to start the job. Yes, you're going to have to put a coupler or something in there, and then when you go to PVC, you're good. This will take the risk of the hottest part being protected. You've got a pressure relief valve. Obviously, we need one of those. The kits come with 4 pipes. Now, they give you both of these. This is not a combi. If it was a combi, you'd use both. Domestic hot water in, domestic hot water out. Like I said, like a tankless water heater. In this configuration, you're either going to cap those both off if it's a heating only, or you're going to use just one if it's going to an indirect tank. So it'd pipe out to the indirect tank, and then what you would do is T on the return side, so your indirect tank would operate independently. It also comes with outlet and returned. So you've got a spot for your gauge, your temperature pressure gauge on the supply. So it comes with this. Why does this unit come with these and the bigger TRXs Series 2s do not? It's where they're made. Here, the connections on the bottom of the boiler are metric, so we gotta include these. And it's actually a nice way to go. With that, they also give you unistrut. So as you mount these to the boiler, you can strap them in, all the pipes, make it really, really a nice job. So this would go below the boiler down here. They actually give you the cush clamps for that too. So you've got your temperature pressure gauge, and that'll go right into your supply tube. You've got a Converter if you're going LP, so you can change it to LP if you wanted to. You've got mounting hardware to mount the bracket to the wall. You've got the bracket with 2 hooks. Mount the bracket, hook it on. I would always back it up with a couple screws at the very bottom just to keep it to the wall, just in case kids are horsing around. You've got the gas adapter. This adapts from the gas valve to 3/4 inch gas pipe. You've got some little screens for the intake and the outlet of the exhaust, and they come in 2-inch and 3-inch in here, just in case. You've got an outdoor temperature sensor. Again, if you want to use, the setback function, you're going to need outdoor temperature for that reset. So they give you that too. They give you, if I can get this open, the caps for the bottom when you don't use that function, and then they give you all the cush clamps you need for your unistrut. So basically, every single thing you need near boiler is done for you. It's all figured out. It's done perfectly. Again, the number one thing I see guys not using is this. I want you to use that. I know it's silly to go that far, put a coupler and then keep going, but this will protect it. Unless you're going to run the whole vent in CPVC, that would be glorious too. But that's what you've got. And again, the most confusing part here is if you don't have a combi, and this one is not a combi, but they still shipped, so you're going to have one extra pipe that you're not going to use. And if you don't do an indirect tank, you're not going to use either one of those. Now again, if you're not familiar with indirect tanks and this particular boiler, it's got a 3-way valve in there so it can quickly flip over from heating to heating an indirect tank. And we just get great results with the indirect tanks. We have a 20-gallon indirect tank that mounts on a wall right next to this. Works very well. That's what's in the box. Stick around because we're going to go into this unit and then we're going to open it up a little bit and show you where some of the connections are right now. So here we are inside the TRX Series 2. Now there's 2 compartments that you're going to have to get into to wire and hook everything up. One, it just hinges down like this, opens, if I can get it open like that, the door comes off. And then inside here, and we're going to show you a close-up picture of this, inside here is your connection for all your low voltage, your tank sensor, your TNT, your thermostat, all that's in there, your outdoor temperature sensor, all that goes in there. This upper panel, we'll take that cover off. Inside here is all the connections for zone 1 pump, zone 2 pump. If you did something different than this with a 3-way valve for a domestic indirect tank, there's a spot for the domestic pump there. There's a couple fuses. So this is all your 110 volt side. This is all your low voltage side. And then we're going to get into actually playing with the easy setup, the setup wizard. It's truly unique. That's going to be in a different video. We're going to go through some of the connections, some of the controls, and how to go into the setup wizard. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be another video. Brian Dulesky, Able Distributors.